welcome to Three Barrow Farm. As you can see, it is very wet at the moment and we are expecting so much more rain, and it's not quite the time for me to be standing out here starting this channel here, but I wanted to document our journey here on this farm better than we have been in the past. And what better way than filming the development of the farm from here on out. We have been here for, well, this is our 9th year now, so we've put down foundations. This whole entire 42 acres of ours was just dead grass here on Dja Dja Wurrung country in Victoria, Australia. And there are very few channels out there of farmers in Victoria doing the homesteading lifestyle of sustainable living, growing your own food, you know, trying to live off the land. So I wanted to start this channel and hope that I find more and more like-minded people through filming what we're doing here. So behind me I have one of the vegetable patches that we have out the back of our house area here. We have got the potential to have 5 of these. One of them I dedicate to growing flowers. So that one's taken up. So eventually we'll have 4 plots. At the moment we've got 2.5, and they're quite long, and they've got 5 rows in each plot. So we have quite a lot of space here to grow food. And so far during the months of January and February and going into March, we don't go anywhere else to buy our food. We just live off what we're growing here. And then going into late autumn, into winter and the start of spring, we are purchasing local fruit and veg from one of our organic shops here in the town, in the closest town to us. So we're not completely self-sufficient here. We don't ever plan to be completely self-sufficient because I believe in community and sharing our produce. I grow a lot of potatoes and someone else might grow a lot of beans, because I don't seem to be able to grow very good beans here. So perhaps someone with, you know, shelter from the wind can grow beans and I will get organic beans off them and they can have some potatoes. So let me take you for a little walk to see what we're growing here at the moment. Where are my puppies? We have 2 Jack Russell puppies at the moment. I have to keep an eye on them. But I'm just going to take you for a walk around our vegetable patches. At the front of our house, we have a more meandering garden with herbs, flowers, and fruit trees and trees, you know, other trees, deciduous trees. And the rest of our property is dedicated towards growing trees, raising our meat. So we've got sheep and we raise lamb here. And we also have 2 alpacas, and we also have 13 chickens, 3, I think, or 4 of which are roosters. We just had some chicks earlier this year, and yeah, I believe 4 of them or 3 of them are roosters because we already have the master rooster. So let's go for a little tour of the winter garden. So unfortunately we had quite a bit of sickness recently and I haven't been able to get out here before all this rain came. And you know, it's just going to end up being that I'm going to be out here getting very muddy on the weekend and getting rid of lots of the old growth in the garden so I can plant other things. But this was basically our sunflower wall. So it was gorgeous and beautiful. I will put some footage in here of what it looked like. It was just lovely. And we've got, you know, quite a bit of kale growing underneath, but nothing has intentionally been planted here. It's just all coming up from seed. So I've got to make sure that my puppies don't end up in the paddock with the alpacas. This is Luna. So basically this garden bed here has just started. This is the middle of it, and it needs to go all the way out here and all the way out that side, having the 5 rows in this section. So this one hasn't been finished, but what we are doing basically is getting loads and loads of cardboard and putting the cardboard over the very short cut grass, and then we put a huge amount of cow manure, which we've been getting by the truckloads, on top. And I tell you what, the cow manure makes a fantastic soil. It just brings all of the worms, and there's no plastic and rubbish in it like we were getting when we were getting compost in. I do also make compost here, and we put that on top as well, but that big huge chunk of manure on top suppresses the grass, and we can do a no dig method by just doing that. So yeah, as long as we keep on top of the weeds around the garden beds and around the garden itself, nothing should blow in, hopefully, fingers crossed. But we do come across times where things get on top of us and we can't keep the weeds down, and then we just have to go through and weed. But I put a bit of, newspaper on top and another smaller layer of manure, and it does the trick. Okay, so here we have the second veggie plot, and this is where I was standing when I introduced the video. So this one is quite new. In between each veg plot, we have a row of heritage apples. So each tree is a different sort of apple, and we have rows between and at the ends of all of these plots. So that is a lot of apple trees, but they are very young still. And yeah, they've given us some apples, but the bigger trees out the front have given us more. So in here I have onions, some cabbages, and then we've got more brassicas, and then we've got kale at the end, which all came up from seed. Then in the middle here on row 2, we have a Rio mesh. So rows 2 and rows 4 have Rio mesh on them, so I can grow my tomatoes up the mesh. At the moment, there's the 2 puppies. At the moment I am growing peas, so this just has a whole heap of peas down it. All right, and then we come to row 3. Row 3 starts with loads of kale, and then we move into lots of root vegetables. So I've got parsnip, I've got beetroot, and we've also got lots of onions down the end. I've got spring onions that we're harvesting from at the moment, and then I've got, they've gone into the chicken area. At least they're having fun outside while it's not raining. I can see the rain is coming though, so let's keep moving. Yeah, so lots and lots of root vegetables in the garden at the moment, which is, what you plant during winter or during autumn to grow during winter. This, let me get my bearings right. This patch here is like a carpet of coriander and lettuce. So I've got some brassicas through here. This section really does need a good weed. We've got a calendula plant here as well. So here we are in vegetable plot number 3, which was actually the very first vegetable plot we grew. So it's looking a bit worse for wear at the moment because it's had the least love of recent. It's still got tomato vines with tomatoes that hit the frost and went all sludgy. I had hundreds of tomato plants in here this summer, and I have pulled out a lot, but this section I just haven't been able to get to. It's also got corn stalks still sitting, and yeah, it's looking a bit worse for wear, but there's lots of food in there and lots of seeds coming up and lots of weeding to do. So I really need to get into this garden bed, and this is the last one of all of the vegetable plots we have at the moment. The next one is my flower garden, which I can show you in a moment. I just need to call for the dogs again. corn stalks still in the garden. Just been really hard to get out here, as I said, because of sickness, and we were all sick, so it was really difficult. And the last plot behind me is the flower garden, which it's all just coming up from seed. There's a lot of grass in there, but the poppies, this is mainly poppies and false Queen Anne's lace. It is just so much. You know, this is my annual garden. I grow all the perennials out the front, but I have been planting some of the perennials out here that haven't been doing too well out the front. And I want to transfer them this year. I want to get the perennials out of here so I can make this just my annual bed again. So this is the fourth plot, or what will be eventually the fourth veggie plot. And then the space that we have over next to this row of trees will be where my potting and seed raising shed will go. So that's very exciting. We haven't got any of that sort of infrastructure yet, but I'm looking forward to having somewhere to raise our seedlings. And here we've got Jackie. Hey Jackie. Hey darling. Hello. So as I said before, it is winter here. It is the 6th of June down on Dja Dja Wurrung country in Victoria, Australia, and there's not much happening in the garden, but there's lots of potential, and we have lots of work to do before spring comes. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy coming on this journey of me logging our gardening and homesteading lifestyle here via this YouTube channel. What do you reckon, Jackie? Ugh, you've been eating chicken poo, don't lick me. Off you go. So we are a family of 5, and our 3 children help out a lot on the farm. So you'll be seeing them helping out, and my husband does a lot of the work with the sheep and the alpacas. The vegetable patch is mainly my domain, so this is what I've done pretty much all by myself, except I've had help, of course, shoveling all the manure. And my kids look after the chickens. They do a really great job of doing that. We're currently getting maybe 1 egg every couple of days. Some of our chickens are really, really old. Let's go and have a chat with the chickens, and hopefully I can get them into their coop, because the dogs have run in. Because Charlotte's left me with that job today, because they've gone off for their afternoon activities. So let's see if I can get them in. So this is the coop here that we've got. This one we built the summer of 2019 to 2020. And there's supposed to be wheels on the end here, but my husband Latham has used the wheels for another project when we were harvesting wood just a few weeks ago. He made a trolley to pull the wood out of the forest. So yeah, it's supposed to be movable, and we're supposed to move it every month, but it is quite a hassle to move the coop. So that's the old rooster there, and he's just telling one of the younger roosters who's boss. Yeah, so we've got all the food here, which is handy, especially when we have people caring for the chickens. So there's one of the young roosters. And we basically just keep moving it around this land here. And yeah, they've got a big space to roam around during the day, and then we shut up the coop at night. I've just got to get this one rooster in, and then I think I can shut the door. Okay, the chickens are in. So if you'd like to come along on this journey of ours, logging our gardening here, our homesteading lifestyle, growing our food, living off the land, living in our off-grid home as well. We are 100% off-grid here, so you'll be seeing a lot of the difficulties with living off-grid, but also the joys of living off-grid as well. So hit subscribe and join us on this homesteading journey that we are currently on. And I look forward to seeing you soon on our next video. Bye for now.